my name is Bethany Herway and I'm the Glamorous Housewife. Today I'm going to show you a technique that I use to get delicious, flavorful fish without a whole lot of cleanup. That's coming up next here on the Glamorous Housewife. So, like many of you out there, I am trying to eat healthier these days. And one of the ways I do that is by eating fish. It is considered to be a great protein, but I had some concerns about cooking it at home. So I have come up with a fantastic technique that imparts a lot of flavor to the fish, and I have a little secret trick on how I cook my fish using one of these Reynolds bags that keeps everything moist as it's cooking, and then the cleanup is super easy. So I'm going to show this to you right now. The first thing that you need are some fragrant, vegetables and herbs to surround your fish. Now I've cut up half of an onion, thinly sliced, as you can see here. I figured you didn't need to see me actually cutting up an onion. And I did the same here with this is actually 2 lemons, mainly because I really love lemon flavoring, especially with fish. So I'm putting those into a bowl. Now this is fennel. Fennel is a very popular vegetable, especially in Italy. It's not found as often here in the States, but if you can't find it, you can use celery. The flavor is very different. Fennel has a sort of licorice flavor to it, which I think works very nicely with the salmon. But some people don't like it. So instead, just substitute celery, which obviously has a celery flavor, and you'll be just fine. Now I want to show you, because it's a little bit unusual for some people, how to prepare it. So the first thing I do is cut off these stalks. I really like it smells so good. The top of the fennel can be used to decorate your fish when it's done. It's very pretty. So now you just have the bulb. So what you're going to do is cut it in half. And if you notice right here, it's got this sort of core. It's perfectly fine, but it's a little tough and you don't really need it. So what you do, it's going to be hard to do this sort of backwards, but you just make 2 slices in a triangle to get most of that core out. And then you set it aside. I'm going to do the same on the other one. All right. So now the fennel bulb is a bit like an onion in that it has different layers. So all you have to do is take the flat part, set it down, and carefully thinly slice it, and you'll see here in a second the bulb will fall apart just like an onion. Okay, here we go. So see, it just falls apart, and you throw it. Oh, it smells so good. When it's raw, it has a very pungent black licorice smell to it, but as you cook it, it mellows out and gives the entire dish a more a sweet and herbaceous flavoring. All right, so that all goes into the bowl. The next thing you're going to do is add just a little bit of olive oil to your vegetables and the lemon. This moistens it, adds a little fat, and a little bit of flavor to your dish. Then I like to take a pinch of salt, maybe a little bit more, and some pepper just to finalize. There we go, and then I just toss it with my hands. Okay, now it's time to use the oven bag. So I just pull it right out. My hands are slippery. And figure out what's the top. Find the opening. Then what you're going to do is lay about half of your mixture on the bottom. Actually, this would be better served directly on what we're going to use to cook it, which is, I just used, cookie sheet right here, roasting pan. Okay, that goes on the bottom. And next we put in the fish. So I'm using, there's just 4 of us. we have 5 in the family, but the baby doesn't eat much. And I use this, this is a wild caught Alaska salmon, and I just lay it skin side down on top of the vegetables. Then I take my, and this is fresh dill. Now if you don't have any, you don't have to use it. I just really love dill, especially with the rest of the ingredients. And I kind of lay it on top, and then I finish with the rest of the vegetables. One thing I forgot to mention with the fish is I had already salted it to give it a really nice, that salt obviously brings out the flavor, and I really like that. So then all you have to do is tie the bag into a knot. You can also just sort of, scrunch it up, tuck it under, but I don't want to get any of the juices out onto my pan because that just makes the cleanup a lot more difficult. So there we go. Tying it up, making sure everything is flat. Don't worry about the air inside, that won't change anything. And then I'm gonna put this in a 325-degree oven for about 25 minutes. Now here's the thing that I've had a hard time with when it comes to cooking fish, and that's the timing. It really depends. Every time you buy a fish, it's different. Some are thicker, some are thinner, and I start checking after about 20 to 25 minutes to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. Now some people like their fish on the rare side. I personally don't. I like my salmon cooked all the way through. So I let it go a little bit long. But if you like your salmon, a little bit raw on the inside, then all you need to do is start checking it after about 15 minutes. And just let it, you can kind of tell, just let it keep cooking, 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time, check it. And after a while, you'll be able to sense when your fish is done. After 20 to 25 minutes, when your fish is all cooked, all you have to do is take some scissors or a knife. Now be careful, because I let this cool for a while, but you don't want the hot steam to come shooting out at you. Carefully cut the bag open. Then, using either a fork or some tongs, just start pulling off all the vegetables that were on top, just so you can get to the fish. If it's cool enough, you can use your fingers to do this. I also just sort of scrape it to the sides so that I can get right in there. Okay. Then I just go underneath, making sure the bag isn't sticking, and do my best to carefully pull the whole piece out. It's hot. Okay. Now as you can see, I've got some dill that has stuck to the fish, but I actually think it looks really pretty that way. Sometimes I will take the dill that I used on the bottom to display it and put it on top. And then all that's left, and here's the best part, is for cleanup, you just go like this, pull up the bag, grab this, and throw it in your sink, well, in the garbage. And that's it. You have a perfectly cooked, tender, and flavorful piece of salmon to serve to your family. So I hope you enjoyed this Cooking with the Glamorous Housewife, and I will see you ladies next week every Wednesday. You can also subscribe to my newsletter, and I have a private video that I shoot and send out on Fridays that you can only see if you have the code which comes in my newsletters. Thanks ladies, bye.